And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Greg as he returns for more punishment today.
Good morning. Bright and early. Beautiful day again.
Man, does your wife pick out all your shirts for you?
I think so.
Man, that woman's talented.
That's right. That's right.
Ever since you let her have that 29th anniversary?
That's right. Hey, that's right. She's looking for a 30th coming up.
So what did y'all do on your 29th? Did y'all go anywhere?
Went out to eat. No, man, after 29 years, I mean, you know, we went on a big trip, 25th, and I better plan something kind of spectacular for 30th.
No, I didn't. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's 33 now. She ain't left yet. I mean, we did do the Popeyes on that 33rd.
It's because you had a coupon, though.
Man, you have to use those. You know, when you say that, don't that aggravate you when you're in line and you're in a hurry and you got that one item and that person in front of you has got 50 of them?
Got that stack of coupons to say, and you say you want to say, I'll give you that 12 cents if you'll get out of the way.
We've all been there. You know, that does happen there. All right, let me get on a touchy subject here. Because I read this article and I thought, there's just, you know how it is that Americans don't want to take responsibility for anything that they do.
Right.
Now,
Not my fault.
Right. Now, this involves a preacher, and he is also a mayor of a small town, Alabama town. And as we get into this, let's just say that you're married and, well, you've got this. Let me try to think of the correct word for it. Is fetish the word? Or this fantasy to where you like to dress as a woman on the side?
Can't say I see that happening.
Right. But you've seen other people do this.
Yeah.
The left, and I call it the left, are mad because somebody figured this out. The mayor of this small town was dressing as a woman, a curvy woman, as a matter of fact. And, well, they broke the story of here's your mayor.
Well, at least he didn't dress like a ugly woman. I mean, you know.
Well, I'm gonna pull up a picture of it and show you what he looked like. Now, this is what he looks like. This is from Daily Mail. This is what he looked like on a normal basis there, fishing. Yeah. There he goes. All right, let's scroll down and see him as his curvy alter ego. There she is.
Ooh.
Now, the left is mad because apparently he couldn't handle it. After he got called out by the news media, he committed suicide. And they're wanting to blame the media because he committed suicide for dressing as a woman. He did all of that.
That's on him.
Yeah. He chose to wear the women's clothes. He chose to take a gun and end his own life. Had nothing to do with the media. If that is your fantasy, they just brought it to light for everybody else to know about it.
That's right.
But the mayor of a town, I mean, what's next, Greg?
There's no shame.
Maybe this stuff went on in the past and the media wasn't as quick to get it, and by the time it just faded away, maybe that's it. Maybe this has been going on for centuries and we didn't know it. But by golly, we know now, don't we?
That's exactly right. A lot of people don't agree, but Greg's opinion, which don't count for much, some things need to stay in the closet.
Like, what's his name that used to fight Chuck Norris? The Kung Fu fighter?
Bruce?
No, the Carradine.
Yeah.
You remember what happened to him, don't you? Seriously, Greg, think back.
No.
Of course, you know, he was in Long Wolf McQuaid.
Right.
He was a guy he fought. He was found dead in a closet because he also had this fantasy of dressing like a woman and then hanging, and it got a little out of hand, and he died dressed as a woman in a closet. Although he might have been a good hoo-ha.
Yeah.
It didn't end well. Everybody knew what he done on the side.
I guess I'm just different. I fantasize about like elk hunting in Colorado, or you know what I'm saying?
I'm with you on that.
I'm having a '57 Chevrolet two-door hardtop.
Yeah,
or, you know.
Good dreams.
Okay,
that's where I'm at with you on that.
Next,
but it's just it just amazes you of the stuff that you find out that go on behind the scenes there. Did you see this where the boat captain, this happened about a year or so ago, to where the ferry went down, going across, there was 34 people on it, the captain of it jumped off. He's being charged. This is a pre-Civil War standing where the captain
has to go down with the ship.
He didn't make sure everybody was off. He's being charged, could spend 10 years in jail.
Well, he may have been, like the old fellow said, somebody had to tell what happened.
Yeah, that's right. He was ready to be that guy.
He was going to report it.
All right, I went down and I saw Ward. Ward's in the house with us also. He's going to be talking with us today.
He sure looks sleepy.
I know. Look at him over there. We got toothpicks. We're trying to put his eyes up. That man's been busy. We're going to tell you all the details here in a minute. But Brandon Presley, who is Elvis's cousin, is, of course, running for governor of this great state of Mississippi. I saw Tate downtown Marion yesterday for the ribbon cutting ceremony. We had a bunch of people. There was a huge turnout. At the end of the day, I don't think Brandon will take him down. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Tate will come through it. Is it the Democrats' best chance they've had in a long time? It absolutely is. He's garnered more talk and, had more, what's the word I'm looking for? But governorish look to him. Maybe that's it. I'm trying to be very politically correct here. Help me.
Well, yeah, he kind of stands against his own party, maybe?
Right.
Does that make sense?
It sure does. And at the end of the day, the party would take over, and we all know that. He may say this, but at the end, if you're a Democrat, they believe in abortion, they believe in this. Most of them do. Well, there may be some lone ones that don't, but
you got to pay the fiddler if you're going to dance, and
that's right.
Kind of the way that works.
And I know there's a lot of people out there that go, well, I'm mad at Tate. Well, you may be, but that's your choices. What do you believe in? That's where you go. Not telling you how to vote, just giving you your options.
Yeah. Sometimes ain't neither car good, but you got to drive the better one.
Yeah, that's right.
That make any sense?
What would you rather be a red light in, a Yugo or a what's that other one that Jeff Dunham always talked about? A Prius.
Yeah.
Zzz. Jeff Dunham's funny, y'all. If you've never seen him, go watch one today. We'll be right back. Michael Cassidy is in the house as he asks for your vote also.
That's right.
Ooh, House, District 45. We'll find out more about that next as we continue the morning. As the seasons change, so do your clothes. And Garrett Sports Center on 8th Street has exactly what you need. Haybo shirts, long and short sleeve. Also Hulk shirts. And America's favorite brand, Carhartt. Whether you need work pants or slacks for church. And nothing lasts like a pair of Carhartt overalls. Maybe it's a set of boots that you need. From box to lacrosse, they have the boot for you. And as hunting season rolls in, they have all the camouflage you need and toboggans to boot. Garrett Sports Center, 3505 8th Street, Meridian. If it's crossed your mind about a new tractor, visit my friends at Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 here in Collinsville. They got any style, any size that you're looking for. And right now, you can take advantage of getting a new tractor, a trailer, and a bush hog, all for $31,000, 0% interest for 84 months. Yeah, 0% for 84 months. Also, a great service department to work on any tractor that you have. From bush hogs, disc, and tillers, see it all at Freeman Tractor, Highway 494 in Collinsville. Have you been wanting your own building, your own shed? Speak to our friends at Best Sadia Building, 601-728-1954. Now, they can custom build you a home from a barn dominium. Maybe it's a shed that you're needing or a simple place to park your car, a garage, a camp house. Maybe you need a place to park your tractor, your motorcycle, or even that lawnmower. They can custom design whatever it is you need. Quality work, trustworthy, Best Sadia Buildings. Speak with Drew, 601-728-1954. And welcome back. Your friend Scotty Ray along with Greg. And, of course, you've seen this friendly face before. You sell fireworks or something, don't you?
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's getting close to that time.
It'll be here, what?
December the 5th is our first legal day to be open.
Yep, that's kind of laws in Mississippi where you can't sell.
Kind of backwards.
It is. It doesn't make sense. But you can shoot them all year long.
That's right. That's right. I don't recommend it right now. It's a little dry. But...
Hey, we got, as I mentioned this morning at 6:30, we got weather coming up. Rain. Believe it or not, it's going to fall from the sky Thursday night.
Amen. We need it, brother.
And should kind of trickle along until Friday night, ending around midnight.
That's right.
Now, again, we're a couple of days out. It could change just a wee bit there on the time frame, but...
We desperately need it. My green fields are not green.
No, they're just like a burnt look.
Got that powder keg look.
Man, deer hunting. It's wide open there. Again, another weekend of youth season, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. We've got, as we mentioned, Michael Cassidy, and you might remember him from another election not long ago where you kind of shook up the establishment and they figured out who you were. You're running again.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm the Republican nominee for State House District 45. So it's been another couple of months of heavy duty politicking, and it's been good. And glad to be back. Thanks for having me.
Michael was telling us he keeps up with these stories as well. While we were at commercial break, what we said about that preacher and mayor of that little town, he wrote a manifesto of fantasies, didn't he?
Yeah, it was some just absolutely evil stuff. He's talking about, his own fantasies about kids and other a lady in his town, and
that's where we were saying where they tried to blame the media for what he did, and that's not right.
No, he brought that on himself. Unfortunately, like he don't have these fantasies or whatever about kids and people in your town, and you'll have a healthier mental state. I tell you what.
You're absolutely right. So you're running for House. Tell us your stance on this. What do you plan to do if you're elected today?
So the big things that I've been campaigning on, it's pretty straightforward: cutting taxes, and then also getting voluntary prayer back into schools.
I like that part.
Yeah, and so it's remarkable that, I'll talk about cutting taxes, and I'd like to get both the grocery tax and the income tax taken care of. The grocery tax is a little bit easier to do just because, it's only about $300 million in revenue, and the income tax, it's almost, I think, $1.5 billion in revenue.
That's a little bit higher.
Yeah, so we had a big surplus last year. We can afford to get rid of the grocery tax, and especially, man, the way that food price has been going up, that, we ain't going to control what the price of food is, but we can help out, people in Mississippi with bringing the tax on that out. The income tax, we can phase out over a few years, let's say, but we need to get money back in people's pocketbooks when we've got a surplus at the state level. And people like hearing that, but really the thing is, we have for decades, it feels, taken God out of society.
So how can, and let me just ask this, and Greg, you agree with wanting this back in schools
Absolutely.
as well. But probably a large portion, 90% plus, would want that back in school. How come no one has stepped up to the plate before now and said this is what needs to happen and rode this till this bill passes? What is stopping it? Why hasn't Mississippi done something?
So I actually got inspired by this last year when we got Roe v. Wade overturned last summer.
Right.
And the reason that happened back in 2022 is because Mississippi passed a law back in, I think, 2018 or 2019. And then that got, of course, the lawyers challenged it. It went to the Supreme Court, and we've got a relatively conservative Supreme Court. We were able to get it, Roe v. Wade, overturned. So I think we can do the exact same thing, the exact same process with that Supreme Court decision back in the 60s that took prayer out of schools. And Mississippi's the perfect state to do that. So if we get that law signed in 2024 in the session next spring, then lawyers will, they'll get mad at it, and we'll expect that, and it'll take a couple of years. But, this is as good a time as we have had in, since they took it out to get it back in. So I think that's, just like you said, something like 90% of people want it. Let's get it done.
Yeah, it just seems to drag on. Everybody talks about it. It's just never surfaced. And we do hope that one day that will happen. Now, let me ask this, because there's a lot of people who are going to go, well, I saw you on Scotty Ray this morning with Greg, but I didn't see your name on the ballot. Tell us areas that can vote for you, so everybody that's watching understands your coverage.
Yeah, this is a bit of an odd-looking district. There's parts of Lauderdale, parts of Kemper, parts of Neshoba, and parts of Winston County, but it's not the majority it's the majority of Kemper. Pretty much everything except Scuba is in. In Lauderdale, it's pretty much from the Coke plant. You go up 39, you go up 45, you get to the Navy base. If you go in the front gate, you turn left, you're not in the district. You turn right, you're in the district. It's got Dalewood. Again, it's got DeKalb, most of Kemper County. It's got a bit of Philadelphia, the northern edge of Neshoba County, and it's got Noxapater, the southern half of Noxapater,
southern half,
and west. Yeah, so it's it's a weird looking district, but they just did a little bit of redistricting a year or two ago to change it up a little bit. It used to be a pretty heavily Democratic district.
Right.
The current incumbent, Michael Ted Evans, he ran in 2015 and in 2019 as a Democrat unopposed. But then this year, they've changed with the changing of demographics and voting history. It actually voted Republican in last year's election. It voted Democrat in 2020 and 2019, but those same precincts voted slightly Republican in 2022. So this is a winnable race for a Republican, and I've been working hard at it. I think we've got a good shot.
All right. Well, tell us here in closing, as people get, because this is important. It's going to happen today. The polls are open now.
Oh yeah.
Why choose you over anybody else? What makes Michael the choice to vote today?
Well, I think that I'm the only person talking about getting grocery tax and the income tax taken out, and I'm certainly the only person who's talked about getting voluntary prayer back in schools and getting 10 Commandments back on public display. And over the past couple months, I've knocked on about 3,000 doors. I think I've shown the energy that is required to actually accomplish some of these changes. I don't want to go to Jackson and just, collect a paycheck and be twiddling my thumbs during committee meetings. I want to actually do things that are good for the people of Mississippi, good for the people of District 45. I'm more than willing to listen to people. I want to listen to people. I know I ain't got all the answers, and hear what people want and see how we can best get that done for the future of our state.
You'll see this man's name on the ballot. It happens between now and 7 p.m. tonight. Michael Cassidy, House District 45. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Scotty Ray.
We appreciate that. I bumped into him many, many, many times there, Greg, throughout the campaign trail.
I imagine his knuckles are sore from knocking on doors.
Yeah, I bet so. And speaking of that, we'll have another candidate coming up here in just a moment. You know him. You see him a lot. Ward Calhoun. As I said, he was in the background back there behind the governor yesterday, kind of watching everything.
Somebody said he slept like a week ago. I don't remember.
We're giving him an IV right now of coffee to get him going. Billy's working out, by the way. He sent you a message to let you know he's at the gym right now.
Ward said he had been working out too.
Oh, good morning to you. It's 7:19 as we get this morning underway with Scotty Ray and Greg. We do hope you got a smile and are going about it good today. Sunshine at 83 for this voting day. Probably one of the best weather days you could have for a turnout to vote.
You could walk to the polls.
You could.
It's beautiful.
All right.
I'm not.
But yeah, I'm with you on that. We'll be right back.
Our local headlines are brought to you by the Rock House Gun and Pawn.
Transportation Commissioner Willie Simmons spent 27 years as a member of the Mississippi Senate, where he served as chairman of Highways and Transportation. Commissioner Simmons understands the importance of working with federal, state, and local leaders to upgrade East Central Mississippi's infrastructure. Willie Simmons is not done yet. On Tuesday, November the 7th, let's continue to invest in our infrastructure like never before by re-electing Willie Simmons as Transportation Commissioner. Philadelphia Gun and Pawn, located at 910 Posey Avenue, has tons of lawnmowers to choose from. A big selection of zero-turn lawnmowers, power washers, and even barbecue grills. Step inside the store and see their complete line of Liberty safes along with those Browning safes. A large selection of Louis Vuitton purses along with satin shirts and bead sets. And tons to choose from for the outdoorsman in your household. And always a great deal on any type of jewelry you're looking for. And a private lobby for pawns for your confidentiality. Philadelphia Gun and Pawn. Are you looking for a job that could last a lifetime? Structural Steel is hiring now. With employees that have been there from 20 to 40 years, they're family owned and operated since 1975. Competitive starting wages, a 401k package, and great insurance. Immediate openings on the day shift and night shift. From entry-level helpers, welding and tacking, grinding and fitting. And the list goes on of job openings. Start your future today at Structural Steel. Call 483-5381. Welcome back as we look at, don't forget, there's going to be a little construction throughout the area again today. North Hill Street, paving, as we'll see this right here. Pull right up there and took a picture of that.
That's right. Just be patient. Remember, we all, me especially, fuss about road conditions.
Yeah.
Well, hey, they're out there getting it, trying to get it slicked up, smoothed up before the holiday traffic. So Leave a little early.
Marion also will have a little bit of construction today with paving. I got a note from Falcon where they're out working there. We mentioned this yesterday, and if you stare real hard here, this guy in the background, look up there. He's holding a door for somebody. Who was that? Oh, that's Ward Calhoun.
He was awake then, too?
He was. This man never sleeps. As we get here, this is the big courthouse that we've got in Lauderdale County. Isn't it nice? And then we have the governor make his way up here, gave his speech. I still got some audio that I've got to share from that. But a big day for Lauderdale County is we get a new courthouse.
That's right.
So I hope y'all get a chance to go by and visit that. Now, we do have somebody holding out. This is kind of like the siege of Vicksburg. It's Donna Jill. She ain't giving up. She's still at the old place. She's at the old courthouse. We'll be at the old courthouse tonight with election results. That's where she is. That's where we need to be.
That's right. They can't move that office during an election.
Right.
Correct? Is that what I was told?
That's what it is. Okay. And so she'll be packing up in the next week or so, headed out there. And a lot of stuff to move. I'm pulling for Donna Jill on this one.
A lot of stuff to move.
I think has the sheriff's department volunteered to go help her yet?
We haven't, but we certainly will. Everybody will take care of Donna Jill.
Donna Jill is like the lady about town.
That's right.
She's such a sweetheart.
That's right.
Yeah, you know, I've told folks I was concerned that when they move archives out of the annex over to the new courthouse, we were going to see the annex rise up 2 or 3 inches, and the courthouse may sink.
It may.
Because people don't realize how much is in there.
Now, am I right in the old courthouse are going to be moving a lot of the history and things to that site?
It's my understanding the archives, of course, is moving over. I believe I'm correct in this. Last I heard, the permit office, which is now located in the same building like where Odie's at, they're going to be moving in there, and I believe plans are to also move, I think they've already moved the Veteran Service Office.
That's good.
From the
place.
house on 23rd Avenue.
Right.
And just consolidating, so those are in one location.
And, of course, your dad had so much to do with the history and gathering information. No matter where I go, Ward's daddy knows all of this. He was such a guy.
People still get us confused, and I'll have people occasionally will call the sheriff's department wanting to ask me questions about Lauderdale County history, and I'm like,
you know a good bit now.
Well, if you asked me and Dad told me, maybe I can remember something. Because I got put on the spot yesterday at the government complex dedication ribbon cutting.
Right.
Because I told Supervisor Wales, I said, you know, we need to get this right. It's been 117 years since we've done a courthouse. And none of us are going to be around when they do it again.
No, we're not.
So let's make sure we get it done right. They did do a great job. Yesterday was a great day. It was the weather was beautiful. A lot of people came down, and I think the citizens of Lauderdale County can be very proud now of what's been.
Oh, it looks like an airport, doesn't it, Greg?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's big.
It's big.
Now, as we were teasing Ward just a moment ago about not having any sleep, and we were giving him an IV for coffee, there is a reason for that. And let me pull up a picture here and show you this. Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department was involved. I even talked to, I called over yesterday and spoke to him in Choctaw County, Alabama, and said, "What are y'all doing?" They said, "We don't know. What do you know?" And I said, "I ain't telling unless you tell me first." And then we kind of went back and forth. And I started gathering information. This sort of went on all day of what was going on. And this is the reason, and I have to say above and beyond the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department, I want to say, you have to help me out here. Maybe the Game and Fish helped y'all out on this?
We absolutely. They really helped us. Yesterday, as you mentioned, talked multiple times to Sheriff Lawley in Choctaw County, and they had a fire. Let's see, that would have been Sunday, about an 80-acre fire over there that was in an area nobody was in, and I don't know where their investigation is, but one of their suspects in this, they believe was going to be an arson, is Todd Riley, who is an individual that we have been looking for over a week for multiple thefts in the Wynot area. The citizens of that area have helped us tremendously. Giving of their time, providing information, and we know that he stole a all-terrain vehicle yesterday, or maybe the evening before, in Choctaw County. A Choctaw County deputy saw him. There's some evidence that he is on this four-wheeler that we also received, and he abandoned the four-wheeler about 1.5 miles from the state line.
Ooh.
and he had been seen deeper in Alabama, so the assumption was he was making his way back toward Mississippi. We saturated the area yesterday, but did not come up with him. Based upon information from the community, we received a tip about 7 o'clock last night of a potential location that he might be in. And I talked yesterday with the, they have a long name, the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks.
It is long.
Yeah. But anyway, they have a special response team, and they have some assets that make tracking people and finding people easier, things that we do not currently have. And so we contacted them, requested assistance, and after hours of surveillance last night, I think it was 12:40 a.m., several of our personnel, deputies, as well as officers with Mississippi Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks approached a structure out off of Booker Road, and he was taken into custody without incident, and he is resting comfortably this morning at the Lauderdale County Detention Facility.
Now, also on top of this, as you mentioned, y'all had some charges, stolen vehicles, possibly some stolen guns, all of this. And if you go back and look at the history of what happened, this could have been a whole different ballgame of a few years ago with the same man. Absolutely.
He was involved in an incident where he was shot by one of our deputies several years ago. Some statements that he had made to others that we were, information we were given that he was not going back to prison, period. And so, we've heard that before. We hear that pretty regularly. But here's an individual who's already been involved in a situation of an officer-involved shooting from our perspective in the past. And so we wanted to make sure that we did everything safely as possible for him and for us. And so he was taken into custody. No issues last night. It was almost anticlimactic because he was asleep, and the guys were on him, and he didn't even know what happened. So.
That's good. Anytime that your officers can walk away from this, no incidents whatsoever, boy, we're thankful for that. And then, of course, no one hurt in the community. You don't have to worry about anything else being taken. You work too hard for
Absolutely.
everything that you got for somebody to come along and take it. Have mercy. We got more coming up with Ward as we get this day started. Today is, of course, Election Day, November the 7th. We've been waiting. I know you've been working on this. How long? A year and a half? How long you been?
Over a year.
Yeah. And at it, so. Today is it. Tomorrow morning, we will have a new Lauderdale 1 on paper. You assume office January 1 if you win?
Correct.
So that's right around the corner. There's a lot of anticipation going on with this. Each county has big races that are going on. We're going to try to keep track of all this tonight and be on top of it. And we'll be right back with a look at this day of history, test Ward a little bit, and then we'll get into some more politics here in just a moment.
This November the 7th, make your vote count. Clark County deserves a sheriff who understands the heartbeat of our community. I'm a lifelong resident, a dedicated family man, and a trusted pillar of Clark County. I know what it means to protect and serve as a community leader. Our livelihood depends on the strength and integrity of our law enforcement. So on November the 7th, vote for Anthony Chancellor for Clark County Sheriff. Together, we can build a safer, stronger community for us all.
Patrick Allen Companies has a wide selection of garage doors that will fit your style, add value to your home, and add curb appeal to your neighborhood. Patrick Allen also has top-of-the-line, energy-efficient replacement windows that will make your home look great while saving you money. We're family-owned and operated, and we take pride in our work. 5305 Highway 145 South in Marion.
For all your garage doors and replacement windows,
call Patrick Allen Companies. Safety, service, satisfaction.
J&J Tire and Muffler, located at 3420 8th Street, invites you by. And if you need a front-end alignment, make sure to try their new state-of-the-art alignment machine. No matter the size of your truck and car, J&J can align it. J&J also has touch-free mounting, laser wheel balancing, and as always, they provide preventive maintenance, including CV axles, shocks, struts, brakes, with the largest selection of new and used tires, along with exhaust systems. Locally owned and operated since 1978 in Meridian. Good morning. As we begin this Friday, Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It is Terrific Tuesday. We'll call it that, as we're all excited about tonight. Everybody has put in a lot of effort. There's been a lot of money spent on elections, and
it's a big year. You know, some year, you don't ever say it's a dull election year, but this has been a big election year.
A lot of surprises. Now, some of the big things that we're watching in Lauderdale County is going to be District 2 Supervisor. That's going to be a heated race tonight. And also coroner. Who will get to be that person in Lauderdale County?
That's right.
Stella's working hard. Rita's working hard behind the scenes there to pull this off. And we'll be there at the courthouse tonight to give you the results as you cast your ballot. And again, each individual, and there are races to where it gets down to where 2 votes, sometimes 1 votes, make a decision over that 50%, doesn't it?
It actually, a story that was shared with me by Councilman Thomas. He won his first election by, I think he said the night of it was 3 votes, but when they did a recount, it was 1 vote. And
That's serious.
His wife, she was there laughing, said, all these years he tells this story. I hope I'm telling it exactly right. About 6:30 before the polls closed, she had been out campaigning, and she made a comment to somebody, I got to go vote. And she went, and she voted. So
only reason he got there.
The only reason he got elected, if she had not voted after that recount, it would have been tied. So 1 vote makes a difference. And that's the thing I've been saying. The frustrating thing in this process, really frustrating, is the apathy that I see with many people. Please, whatever your decisions are, go vote. Inform yourself of the candidates, and then go vote. Our system of government does not function without citizens who are engaged, informed, and who go vote. Takes just a few minutes. Go and vote.
It does. It's quick. Show your license,
Please.
whatever you got, government ID, and they'll let you in there. Yeah, I was asked a question a few years ago, and somebody come up to me and they said, "Who do you think of all?" And they say, outside of Jesus Christ, who do you think is the most influential man that has saved more people? Would it be General Patton? Who is it that has saved and led America and saved so many people? And I stood there, and I had to really think. And he goes, "You know who this is?" And well, he was born on this date. He's responsible for saving so many. Billy Graham. And what a true statement that is. I don't think you could start next week and dig up 1 piece of dirt on this man.
No.
He was a Christian, and he would do anything to save people.
He walked the walk and he talked the talk, and he led a lot of people to the Lord.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he alone saved many. Because your first thought when you hear that who saved, you think of a general in battle who has saved somebody. Billy Graham, though. Y'all think about that fella. Let's see here. I was a kid, and I would assume maybe everybody but Michael would know about this. Anybody, in the name of the movie you may not remember, but it's called Vanishing Point. You ever heard of it, Ward?
It's not ringing a bell.
I was about 4, 5, 6 years old. We had watched on black and white TV, but there was this yellow Challenger that was getting chased all across it, and they tear the car up at the end. This guy was born on this date. Let me pull it up. Barry Newman. Do you remember the car chase at the end where it hits a train?
No.
Okay, I'm the only one in the room.
I told you we didn't have but 1 channel.
That was a big deal. That was one of the first car chases there was. Vanishing Point. Watch it sometime. They tore up a perfectly good Challenger at the end of that movie. Boy, silence in the room. Nobody knows about this. Okay, let's go to 1957.
I know that one.
You couldn't help but know this. Anybody remember this?
Well,
The Brady Bunch. And, of course, which one is that? That is
that's Bobby.
Peter.
Isn't it?
Peter Piper.
Yeah, Bobby's the young one.
Yeah. So Peter had a birthday on today. His name is Christopher Knight. If you got hooked into Alice and the whole game, I walked through the living room the other day and they were square dancing. And I thought, well, that sure is peculiar. We never done that as children.
No, we had 1 channel. We didn't have to dance in the living room.
This, as I mentioned the other day, it was so many people from this TV show that grew up to have issues.
Yes.
I mean, bad issues.
Yes.
As we go back to remember the cast of Different Strokes, she was born on this date. Do y'all remember Dana Plato?
Yep.
She would also pass away from drug usage or some sort there in 1999. Boy, that's just sad because they seemed like they had the world in their hands at the time.
Well, And we all think money can fix this or fix that. That's just proves that
It don't.
money can't buy happiness, maybe.
It can't. Now, it can take the sting out, but it is certainly not going to make you happier.
Like an old fellow said one time, I'd rather cry in a Mercedes than on a bicycle.
But truly, at the end of life, all of the stuff that you've got, you cannot fit in that coffin.
It don't
will you?
matter.
Uh-uh.
I mean, ain't none of that's gonna matter. You better go back to thinking about Billy Graham and.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Friendship is one of the most best things that you can own in this life. You are never poor, a man that has a friend. I always remember that. There's so much truth to this. 1965, this little white fluffy fellow would come to exist. And you'd always want to reach out and touch him, if I remember right. Yeah. You don't remember this guy, the Pillsbury Doughboy?
Oh, I thought that was Barry White. My bad.
Oh, Chief Deputy. Let's see what else we got here. 1970, this would be like the anthem of America. And it still is. So many people still believe in this, as Merle Haggard had a #1 song that went on record today, as we remember.
My all-time favorite artist. Yeah, I mean, somebody asked me the other day, because they know I love old country music.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one, I said, and that's all I could listen to, it would be Merle Haggard.
Hey.
I love George. I love Willie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Merle Haggard is it. I mean,
I'd have to really think hard on who it would be. But of course, that was really the feeling of America. When you're running down our country, man, you're walking on the fighting side of me.
That's right.
We don't have long hair and smoke marijuana and Muskogee.
That's right.
It went on and on of the different beliefs of all of what we had in America. Now, the reason I point this out, let me show this first, and I'm going to go back to that. In 1975, for little boys, things would change in America on this night, as it would debut, and you'd be glued to the TV because you couldn't help but watch.
Linda Carter.
Oh, Wonder Woman hit the screen.
Yeah.
You remember that, Ward?
Oh, absolutely.
Man, I wait for Halloween for people to dress up like this just so I can go, yeah, baby.
That was a beautiful woman. I mean, you know what I mean?
She was.
She was really a beautiful woman.
She nice, sweet, the whole 9 yards.
And that poster's probably as famous as, remember the Farrah poster?
Now, you
that was
really
everywhere?
think it's that high?
I think so.
Let's look at that poster again just to get her.
Yeah.
Boy, if I had the Farrah Fawcett to throw up, I'd do that now.
I mean, that's a woman. That's not a mayor in Alabama.
But no, it's not. That's 100%. But I brought this up because I wanted to show this was in 1975 as they were debuting this. Right after Wonder Woman came on, they had another show that was coming on television starring Sally Struthers and also Ed Asner. Now, as you put this together, you got the newsman and this chick that's begging for money for the little children that cried and she was eating bananas. She was from All in the Family.
That's right.
Do y'all think, we ain't never heard of that show, Hey, I'm Alive. Nobody's ever seen that show since then. Do you remember it?
Honestly, I've never heard of that.
Me either. Nobody watched it. They filed that in file 13 and got rid of that movie quick. But did she not bother you crying on TV?
Whining, I guess.
Yeah, it took me over the edge. 1976, it would finally reach television. It would take at least 2 nights, or was it 3 nights, to watch this. It was 2 nights. They did it in 2 parts. It would gain 65% of all television audience for 2 nights in a row. Do y'all remember watching this 4.5, 5 hours long?
Frankly, my dear.
I remember watching that in the theater.
Temple?
Not the Temple. It was it could have been, or it was the theater that was across the street.
Yeah.
Royal. Wasn't it the Royal?
Yeah, it sure was. I'd forgotten about that.
And they had a special showing or something. Maybe it was I guess it would have been about, I don't know. I was young.
I remember that.
I remember intermission because that movie's long.
It was real long.
I mean, you feel like you've been through the entire war when you get through watching that movie.
But what a great show it was.
Oh, especially for its time and on the big screen, the colors, the storyline,
it was state of the art.
Great. It really was, and it was a great.
Did y'all know that they actually filmed 2 versions at the end of "Frankly, My Dear, I Don't," and he did one without it, and they talked and talked and talked about whether or not to release the D word, and they finally did. And of course, that is the line that is remembered.
Think how funny that is nowadays with the kind of stuff they released, that they were actually worried,
Whew. Big difference there.
Times were a lot better.
We would lose one of the greatest there ever was today. He was it. He had the fastest, longest car chase ever on TV at that time. We'd lost Steve McQueen in 1980 on this date.
Bullet.
Yeah, Bullet. That was quite the movie. I enjoyed that. That and the Charger. This was not, me and Greg didn't own this CD.
No.
I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all before we show this. Private Eyes, they're watching you.
No.
Hall and Oates is who they are.
Heard the song, but I can say I probably skipped that.
Seemed like they played it at prom or something.
No, Alabama, yeah.
Yeah. Y'all remember Song of the South?
Yep.
Number one, as it was released here in 1988 with Alabama there and all that hair. Now, this next guy, I remember watching. He was one of my all-time favorites there as you went back and watched this. This would be the other guy that was on Maverick. Anybody ever remember watching the original? Jack Kelly dies. He would be the second guy there.
And James Garner is the other one, right?
Yeah, Maverick.
Who also played Rockford Files.
Correct.
Oh, excellent. See, I know old stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to help you out there. Now, Greg's getting sick here. As we bring up Election Day, this happened on this day back in 2000.
Yeah.
She was elected to the Senate.
Yeah.
Senator Rodham Clinton, is that how you...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right, trivia. What state was she a senator?
New York, is that right?
I believe you're correct. Well, not 100%, but I'm pretty sure it was New York.
I think it was. And
which always kind of caused me to go, huh?
yeah, because she wasn't from New York.
I thought she was from Arkansas.
Yeah.
But I thought she was from a lot further south. But
That cousin state.
No.
Oh, you meant further south. Coming up, we're going to have some more talk here with Ward as we get ready for this last vote. Coming up, y'all don't rush off.
I'm Nick Lisi, and I'm running for Justice Court Judge of District 1. Justice Court is the people's court, and I've been serving the people of Lauderdale County for 30 years. I grew up here, and the future of our community matters to me. On November 7th, remember, vote Republican, vote Nick Lisi.
Have you seen the selection of cars and trucks at Massey's Supermart Auto Sales lately? How about a Grand Cherokee Jeep 4x4 Limited? They've got that in white and also gray. They have a like new 2021 Wrangler Unlimited 4x4. Or maybe your family needs room. Have you checked out the Ford Expedition lately? 1023 Highway 39 Bypass, Massey's Supermart Auto Sales.
The low profit dealer, Massey Supermart.
Meridian's favorite barbecue is Squealer's Barbecue, named the barbecue capital for the state of Mississippi. Whether it's barbecue, wings, or burgers, Squealer's simply has the best for a family environment. Every Thursday night, there's live music out on the porch. Takeout orders are welcome, and whether it's your next tailgate or large catering event, your friends at Squealer's are there to help. Drop in for lunch today or a night out on the town. Squealer's Barbecue, the best in fine barbecue.
Have you heard? Broadmoor Wine and Spirits is under new management. Now, they're conveniently located at 49. While we were at commercial break, Greg pointed out that they don't need to play any Merle Haggard. Where at?
at the rehab clinic.
You can't help but drink.
I mean, whew, boy.
Haggard really had it going on.
Yes, sir.
Our special guest this morning is Chief Deputy Ward Calhoun, who's running for Sheriff of Lauderdale County. This is the final stretch.
Today's the day.
All right, tell us about this, why folks should choose you as we, this has been a long election year, and it's down to you and one other today.
It has. I've said from the beginning, I've looked at this as a job interview, and I'm asking the voters out there to, look at my experience, my training, and to go and vote for me today to be their sheriff, to be their servant for the next 4 years.
Now, how many years have you been Chief Deputy now?
There you go. That's a great, see, all the things you could ask. You have to do
20.
math.
Man hadn't slept in 4 days, and you go throw rocks at him now. Come on.
18 years, July of 20, of 2005.
Yeah, it's been a little while, hasn't
It's
it?
been a little while.
And Katrina was in August.
Yes, let's don't even talk about Katrina. That causes nightmares to come to mind. But
And I'm going to be honest about this, y'all. It took me a while to get used to the new Ward, because Ward used to be a little bit, what's the politically way to put it? You were a little bit chunkier than you are now.
chunkier. I don't think that's politically correct. He just called
And then Ward went
my
on this
feelings are
diet.
hurt. He just called
and I'm
me
like,
chunky.
who are you?
Well,
It took me a while to adjust to the thin Ward.
He hadn't slept since July of 05. I mean, come on.
Hadn't been that bad. Yeah, back in 2016, I was taking a look at my health and just said,
Like,
things
you
have
were
gotta
on a
change.
major diet.
Well, actually, I didn't really diet. What I decided for me is diets just don't work for me.
Yeah.
What works for me, I tell people losing weight is as simple as math and psychology. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, for me,
Translate.
counting calories, I put an app on my phone, and I just tried to not consume in a day more than about 22 to 2,300 calories. I eat whatever I want. Look, my addictions in life. I'll go ahead and put it out there for the world. I'm addicted to Bluebell mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Good stuff.
And I'm a stress eater. Get stressed, I'm looking for the Bluebell truck. Several years ago in Collinsville, I'm getting fuel, and the Bluebell guy shows up. And he's in the back, and I walk by, and I'm kind of drooling almost. I'm looking at all that ice cream in the back of that truck as he's loading it out. And I said, man, I just want you to know I really do love Bluebell ice cream. And he just looked at me and said, you're one of those. I said, like, what do you mean? He said, I get this all the time. There are people, y'all are just like addicted to this stuff. I said, aren't you glad? It's how you
job
make your
protection.
living. So, but I just, and the psychology of it is, why do we eat? Why do people eat? Because a lot of people don't eat because they're hungry. They eat because they're stressed, or they use it as a coping, you start thinking about how you eat and just try to eat better. It's just better for everybody's health. I want to get to my old age, and I want to get there and be able to do it under my own power, if at all humanly possible. And the things you do younger in life affect those things.
Yeah, I'm hooked on cheeseburgers, and every day it is so hard to turn down a double cheeseburger with gravy.
I just enjoy eating. I mean,
It's like a pastime.
And I love different foods, different restaurants. I enjoy eating. And I always say, I don't want to miss out and eat Brussels sprouts or something and then get hit by a bus next week. That's a week I could have had a pork chop,
I almost lean toward that. But counting calories. So you eat cheeseburgers, anything you want. You still do this, count calories?
Yeah, I don't do this. This year, I'm going to be honest, this year I have put on almost 10 pounds since January. And a lot of that's because not going to the gym, having crazy hours, and just, I can make excuses, but,
Speaking
after
of
today,
we joke, but you did get in bed late from that arrest last night.
I was not thinking kind thoughts of you as I was going to sleep. I had to get up and be here.
Because we talked to Ward about coming in, and then who would have known that would have happened last night?
Yeah.
It's like being a volunteer fire department. Lord have mercy. It's not a lot of sleep, is it?
A lot of times it doesn't. It's just part of what you do.
So as we get near the election today, of course, Billy has backed you. What is going to be any major changes under your administration, or are we kind of status quo of what we built is great? Where are you on this?
In any organization, especially size that we are, you're constantly evaluating what's working, what's not working. Where do we need to pivot? What do we need to do? What do we need to change? There are not going to be a lot of changes. Looking at some small process changes and maybe some shifts in how we do some things.
Right.
The key is that we have a mission to accomplish, where to take the personnel we currently have. There's nobody leaving that I'm aware of.
They seem to like you.
Well, I mean, we're a big old family. Families fuss and, carry on with each other, but for the most part, and making sure that we have the right personnel in the right place to get the mission accomplished. So that'll be one thing we'll be kind of looking at, maybe doing a little shifting around. Not a lot, but a little bit. And then redefining a little bit about who we are and making sure that we're doing everything that we can to be proactive in those areas that we can be proactive in, and then to make sure that we respond appropriately when we're reactive. Now, Sheriff's Department, Police Department, always going to be reactive because somebody's calling 911. for whatever the emergency is in the moment. How do we respond to that? What training are we giving our deputies to make sure that they have the proper training, making sure that they're responding in an appropriate way, and also that we're on the backside are making sure that we do everything that we need to do to make sure that we follow the processes to make sure we have a successful prosecution of a case. This is one of the areas that for most law enforcement agencies is the challenge, because we cannot control how many times 911 rings.
That's true.
There are things going on in our world around us, so we're responding to those, but we have to make sure that we do everything properly on the backside. Every incident that we respond to, a law enforcement officer has to think, I'm going to be sitting in the witness chair one day in front of 12 jurors, and I'm going to be telling this story. Everything has to be documented properly. I mean, there's a lot more to this than running out, catching a bad guy, and just sticking them in jail. That's great on the front end and sounds good, but if you can't follow that up with a successful prosecution on the back end, you are not helping yourself in the long run.
And this also falls into, as you're talking about, that fingerprinting, documenting all this, saving it so the case file doesn't get lost, that it has in other agencies.
All of those things are super important.
Yeah.
And so it's a follow through, and it's a process. And guys, it can get it's tough, especially when you have people who care. A lot of times for our investigators, they have a lot of times deputies are out in the car, they're out answering those calls. They don't, especially the young ones, they don't realize what's going on back at the office. They look at those guys in our CID, our Criminal Investigation Division, and go, what those guys do all day? What are they doing in there? They on Facebook, or they watching movies? What are they doing? Well, they're doing the hard work that every I has to be dotted, every T has to be crossed, because if you mess up with just one thing, that is something a defense attorney is going to just hang on to. That is what they're looking for.
And then have it thrown out.
Or at least cause reasonable doubt in a juror's mind. That's all it takes for one person out of those 12 to say, I can't vote guilty. So doing all the work on the front end, what you want is a case file put together so good that you get an indictment, and when they hire an attorney or one's appointed, they look at that case file and they go, we got to do a plea deal. No matter what, they're going to be telling their client, they've got you here. They've got you solid. We need to work for the best deal we can get, versus going, I found 7 things that we can attack. Let's go to trial. That's what you want. You don't have to go to court as much if you get it all right on the front end. Now, look, are we going to get them? Is it going to be right every single time? No. There's always going to be something, because we're talking about a lot of variables here that are, it's tough to make. And these investigators have the caseload is so enormous that trying to do all of this is the real challenge. And so some of our things that we have to look at is, are we providing all the proper resources? Is there something new out there that can help us do case management better? So those are kind of things that we'll be looking at as we move into our future. The great thing is we got great folks already down there. We're looking for more. I've been saying it, the number one thing in this campaign I've talked about is the challenges of, finding, recruiting, hiring, training personnel. You can have all the programs, all the tools, bells and whistles in the world. If you don't have quality personnel who are there doing quality work, you're going to have a problem. So we are constantly in the look for that. We've got something new going to be rolling out here shortly in the recruitment world. And so we're not talking about that this morning, but right now we're looking for people who want to come and make a difference in their community and be part of a team that's doing that. So go to our website, Facebook page, stop by the office, come find one of us, get an application. We have a few vacancies now. Now would be a great time to put in for employment at the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department.
Greg, if they have a taste testing for Bluebell ice cream, you and I are it.
That's right.
We're qualified.
I can get references for that.
We'll be right back with more with Chief Deputy Ward Calhoun.
Hello, I am Justin J.J. Anders, and I'm running for Lauderdale County District 1 Supervisor. Many of you may know me from the UPS store, which I owned and operated for over 13 years. I'm a family man and a businessman. The Board of Supervisors is the business board of Lauderdale County. I have the business background and experience needed to be a valued member of this board. I am financially conservative and believe we should live within our means. I am Justin J.J. Anders, and I'm asking for your vote for Lauderdale County District 1 Supervisor.
Health Now is your locally owned medical equipment store. Every person's need is a little different, and they offer a little bit of everything from hospital beds, wheelchairs, reclining back wheelchairs, breathing treatments, CPAPs and supplies. They even have walkers, bath products, and oxygen. And the great thing about Health Now is they offer same-day service. They're open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and on call 24/7. Health Now Medical Equipment, where we treat our patients like family.
It's campaign season. Do yourself a favor and elect Reed Tree Service. Got a tree that scares you each time that it sways in the wind? Elect Reed Tree Service to remove that threat. Have storm winds knocked a tree down in your yard and you want it gone? Elect Reed Tree Service. Professional, experienced, insured. Call Mike 601-416-1233 and elect Reed Tree Service for all of your needs. Tell them Scotty Ray sent you.
And welcome back. As we're getting word now of an accident on Highway 19 at Midway Mart. There at the Dollar General right there, the southbound lane is blocked at this time is what we're hearing. It was possible entrapment in the beginning. They do have all drivers out.
Be careful and slow down, and again, be patient.
Now, I don't know if this happened from that center lane or if it was one of the side roads, but that is a busy intersection right there. I got word one of the tires, wheels was knocked off one of the cars, so a serious matter. Also, I haven't posted the video, but I do have video sent in to me from last night. At first, I had it listed when I got it was that a motorcycle had been hit by a 18-wheeler. After the dust settled, it was actually a truck that hit a motorcycle on Highway 493. The truck left the scene after running over somebody on a motorcycle. We've got video of the truck leaving the scene. We're going to put it up. Again, it's at a distance, but it's all we have to identify who was involved. You just don't drive off and leave somebody who's hurt.
No.
That's just a...
And somebody, like we always say, somebody seen something. Just take a look, see if you can help with this.
That's right. I'm getting... I'll have more on this. I just got a note from Jasper County. There was a shooting in Jasper County late last night, and I got in touch with the sheriff, and he now has some information that we'll be putting out here in just a little bit to fill you in on what went on. Whoever it was in custody. I know that much at this point. And he said, I promise you, as soon as I get it together, I'll call you, and I got a message. So we'll dig through that in just a moment.
A lot going on.
Did you know there was a fire at West Hill School? Did you know about that?
No, I didn't know.
Let me show you. We got video of that. And the background noise is real loud. What happened, they were working at doing some remodeling, and one of the welders was on the roof welding. A spark fell off. And what do you think happened, Greg?
It's dry.
Yeah. Caught on fire. They were able to see minimum minor damage, but still it was a fire just the same.
That's right. It's dry. Be safe. Be careful.
And as you well know, being in the Forestry Commission, you're older, even a chain on your trailer will cause a fire.
A strap, if you've got the ratchet strap, you think about the ratchet part of it hitting the interstate or hitting the road, chains dragging, a bearing going out. And I've been to fires before when we would investigate, and it would be brake shoes. A brake shoe come apart on a big truck.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, maintenance, pre-check everything. You can only do so much. Accidents do happen, but just pay attention.
Our guest here is we've got almost, I think it's pretty safe to say. We'll find out tonight, hopefully about 9 o'clock, if Ward is going to be our next sheriff of Lauderdale County. All of this comes together tonight. Cast your vote. As we get ready to leave, what's your final thoughts on this? What do you want to tell people as they get ready to vote?
As I said earlier, voting is important. It is how our government functions. You know, we talk about, or at least I feel like we live in the greatest country that's ever existed.
Amen.
It is what it is because of us, of our engagement. And we get the government that we deserve based off what we do. And if we don't go and vote, you know, I'm kind of one of those ones that says, if you don't vote, why are you complaining?
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so it's frustrating to me that people aren't more engaged, that don't educate themselves, and the apathy that is there. You know, I wish that every time we had voting, we had 80, 90% participation, and we don't. What we should. Encourage you. Take the time. It is important. Your vote matters.
And a lot of people go, well, I'm not voting because, well, I'll get one of those little nasty grams from Donna Jill. Occasionally, you have to go give your time, but that's your civic duty.
That is a part of being a good citizen. And, you know,
right.
we look at our communities today and we talk about all the changes, and, you know, you start backtracking. You start thinking about, you know, what are we teaching our children as parents? What are we teaching our children in school? Are we actually talking about what used to be called civics and about our responsibilities as citizens? A lot of people want to talk about their rights. I've always looked at that discussion much like a coin that has two sides. One side is your rights, but the other side of that coin is your responsibilities. Pay your taxes when you're supposed to.
Absolutely.
Serve on jury. We need good juries. If the only people who show up on juries are the folks that are looking for the $40 a day and somewhere cool when it's hot to sit and take a nap and be on a jury, we're in trouble. We need good juries. Our system does not work without good jurors. But many people, and I know they're joking about it, but they almost brag about how they got out of jury.
You're
and
right.
You should want to serve on a jury. That is a great way to help.
I got on the grand jury one time, and I got paid every bit of $15 a day, Greg.
I served on a murder trial one time, and over a week.
How much did you get paid?
It wasn't very much. Hey, I got to eat at Jean's every day, though. You do know I love to eat. They couldn't let it go on. They had to get over it. It was costing the county too much money to feed me, but I really did. It was very, like Ward said.
You learn things.
Yes, sir. It was very interesting.
I talked to somebody a couple of years ago. They go, I had no idea that we had gangs and all of this, because when you're on that grand jury, you learn.
Oh, yeah, and quite often when we, as a part of the grand juries, they tour the jail. It's usually one of the last things they do. And the sheriff quite often, almost every time, says to them, thank you for your service. Thank you for serving on this grand jury. I hope that nothing you've heard or seen this week, is going to really bother you so much that you're not going to be able to sleep. Because there are many citizens whose eyes, when they serve on a grand jury, especially, are open to what's going on out in the world around them that many times they just don't know about. And so, doing all these things that are our civic duties help us, all of us, to be engaged and informed, because guess what? We're spending your tax dollars. You're the one paying those tax dollars in. And by being informed and engaged in voting, you have a say in that. So encourage people today, go and vote. And when you get to the sheriff's race, I would appreciate you letting me serve you for the next 4 years as your sheriff. It will be my greatest professional
honor. Is that a word?
Honor is I was kind of trying to make sure I get the right word. Honor. That would be it, to be able to be your sheriff and to serve you in that way. For me, it's a job in a sense that I want. This is what I want to do. It's my passion. I have prepared myself all these years and gotten to this point where I'm now ready and able to do that and want to do that for you, so that I can do everything in our community. Because look, my family lives here. Your family lives here. We're here together. Let's work together to make our community the very best that it can be. And I will serve you as your sheriff and do that for you if you will just go and vote for me today.
Sheriff Almost, Ward Calhoun, we'll find out tonight at 7. Big thank you to Michael Cassidy coming in there, House District 45. And as we close, let me show you a picture. I hadn't had a chance to type up the information of the accident yet that is on Highway 19. This is right near Midway Mart. Let me hit this button. Here's the wreck. This does involve, as we see, a Chevrolet pickup truck. Tire has been knocked off of the truck. Emergency officials and ambulances are en route, is what I'm being told at this point. Be careful there. And again, this is the southbound side coming into Marion. There's some parts there I see in the truck. I can't tell if that car is involved, but it's at least 2 vehicles involved in the accident.
Slow down, be safe, and everybody have a great day. Remember, shake somebody's hand, smile at somebody, forgive, and love each other. You'd be surprised how much better your day will be.
Absolutely. Greg, I can't thank you enough for coming in and spending a couple of days with me. Well, I got some more days scheduled for you, I think.
Yeah. Well, I was promised good food, but it's not happened yet.
We get a pumpkin behind you. Pick one, take it home with
the
you.
pumpkin's behind us there. More on the way. And thank y'all, and God bless for spending part of your morning with us here at the Scotty Ray Report. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.